Okay, so my name is Frank Lamar. I'm the product manager for Rocktron, and we're showing some new preamps that we just came out with. It's our ValveSonic series of some of the classic sounds with some of the modern tonalities also. We have what we call the ValveSonic Plexi, the ValveSonic Top Boost, the ValveSonic Blackface, and the ValveSonic High Gain. The Plexi runs through the entire gamut of that popular British amplifier whose name I can't tell you who they are. But here's sort of your classic setting. And this one here, the Top Boost, is really, reminiscent of the classic. And here's your classic American. And your modern high gain. Now the nice thing about these, it's intended to give you the classic sounds, but it'll go beyond the classics. So it's kind of like the Buzz Lightyear of preamps. So vintage and beyond. So if I show you the total capability this range has, let me start with the very first iteration of what the classic started out as. It was originally designed to be sort of a repro of an American tweed amplifier, and then over time it became known to be more of the British sound and started getting dirtier as time went on. This little feature we have here, which we call the afterburner, emulates the power tube distortion, which really is more about the gain in the phase inverter, which a lot of people wouldn't understand anyway, but it's like a phase inverter master kind of. That gives it the feel of a cranked amplifier. We also have several boosts, so this will give you more of that 80s and the higher gain. This switch here runs the entire gamut of bright switches that have been in all those iterations of the amplifier, from no bright cap to 100, 250, 500, 1,000, and even the 5,000 that were on some of the aluminum panels. So it allows you to dial in the brightness you want. This changes inputs and also tightens it up, and it's all based on the original circuitry. This is kicking in the afterburner, I call it. Then the two EQs that have existed. One has more at mid-range, the other one does. So it's really allows you to have every aspect of that classic British sound from the very beginning to the modern era. And this way you're not stuck with one particular version, whether you want a Plexi in of itself, or you wanted a more modern 80s, or you wanted more of a classic JT, the rest. And then we did the same thing with like the Top Boost, where it starts out with the classic chime, but it can also go from like Beatles to like Brian May with adding some of the boost in. So this runs a gamut from pretty clean to all the way up to high gain. The the Blackface starts out as the classic, but can turn into more of the deluxe. modern high gain, which is can also have flexibility and be gained down also if you like. So this could be just a little crunch. All the way to flat out gain. So it's a real nice flexible system. Whether you want to have one or all four, we'd like you to buy all four. But if you're really sort of the classic British sound, but you want a wide range of tonalities, it does everything, again, from the beginning to the more modern variations of it. If you're more of the AC top boost world, this will give you the entire range from like Beatles to Brian May. And the blackface will take you from that original American to the more modern California hot rodded version of that original. And the modern high gain, again, will start out as something that's very high gain, can go down to something more crunch. And that's the basic gamut of the preamps. In addition to the preamp series, we have a new amplifier called the Mainline. A lot of solid state amplifiers really, while they sound well, don't really emulate the tube amp feel that you would get out of a tube amp. So we've designed a circuit to make a solid state amp sound very, very tube-like. We've also added resonance and presence control to give it that tube feel in a solid state amp. So whether you use our pre's, which we'd rather you do, or you use some of the digital modeling pre's, or even with our Prophecy, a lot of people have ignored the power section, and we want to make sure that you also get that tube feel out of the rig so that it does have more of that classic feel and vibe. And so between the preamps and the power amps, we think we have the entire range of rock tonalities covered, and I think you'll find that to be true.